Hey, happy Monday. I just wanted to touch base with everyone to remind us to stop fucking pushing other people to do during this isolation time. I also want to tell people to stop pushing people to rest during this time. It is no one's fucking business what you choose to do during your isolation, except where it could harm another person or yourself. Going outside, constantly visiting people, don't do that. Wash your fucking hands, and wash your hands long, and wash them well. Like watch a hand washing video if you need to. But you got to get these puppies completely clean. Under your nails, around your thumbs, everything. And then remember to breathe. God, please remember to breathe. See this? So I was laying on my massage table doing a meditation for myself. And this is from my cushion. I'm not vain enough to hide it. I'm not vain enough to put on earrings. I'm not vain enough to try to do what other people think is socially acceptable right now. I am in one of my family's Huguenot shirts, Fontaine Maury Society. Those are my ancestors. I am wearing my, this is a Moldavite and Moonstone. I bought for my most recent birthday, 50. I figured I'd already healed the bottom parts, and this is going to help my heart, throat, third eye, and crown. This is from my dearest friend, Trisha. She had this made in Israel for herself, and it's been prayed over with healing and protective prayers. It's a Hamza, or Hand of Fatima, or Fatima, whichever way you choose to say things. And so I wear that also. That's it. I have on pajama pants and mixed matched socks. And you know what? I'm good. So instead of trying to be whatever people think you need to be during this, whether it's creating videos, whether it's writing, whether it's fucking doing music, whatever it's doing, if you don't feel like doing that right now, guess what? Don't. Rest. If you don't feel like resting right now, don't. If you want to paint, if you want to, I don't know, sit around, and if you're in a legal state, whatever you do that helps you to relax, that is not an unhealthy, toxic thing. So watch out for that. This time right now is very easy to go into the toxicities. I worry. And worry can be toxic, because the more I worry, the more my body is creating a stress response. As it creates that response, then inflammation is triggered. When the inflammation is triggered, then the cyst I have on my tailbone from my father's beatings swells. When that cyst swells, then my body can't function as it's supposed to. Incredibly painful. So what am I doing? I'm telling you not to worry like I've been worrying, please. So I'm pulling back off of my worry. I'm meditating more. I cannot control my mother. I cannot control anyone else. I cannot moderate their behavior, and I'm not going to monitor their behavior. It's not healthy for me. It's not healthy for my husband to know that I'm stressed out. So, what am I recommending today? I'm recommending that you meditate, you exhale, inhale, breathe in clean light, and exhale whatever it is that you need to release. Get your water in. Oh my gosh, drink the water. The water really helps the inflammation, helps to release the toxins in your body. And oh my gosh, did you know that when your working on emotional, mental things within here. It's stored in your body. I don't think people really understand that your traumas, your memories are all stored in your cells. So when they say cellular memory, yeah. So as you heal, and I know this for a fact because I've done it, as you heal, you release those cellular memories. The water helps to flush it out. The more I've cut off toxic people and toxic behaviors from my life, I've lost weight without even trying. It's uncanny. I have, in the past 2 weeks, lost over 5 pounds. Not trying. Oh yeah, sugar, horrible for inflammation. It's the only thing I can even say I'm addicted to, that I even have an issue with stopping. And I can stop. Don't they all say that? But seriously, inflammation from sugar, stress, worry, alcohol. Drinking it, not the rubbing alcohol that we're cleaning everything with, but alcohol is an inflammatory. Most of your narcotics are inflammatories. I can't even take pain medicine because it has the opposite effect on my body. It creates more inflammation, which causes me more pain because my body can't handle doing what it needs to do. Just like the cyst on my body that's swollen right now is from my dad's beatings. There's nothing I can do about it. There's no way they can heal it. My neurosurgeon is often teary-eyed when he tells me how he can't help that. So we need to pay attention to where we are and what we can do. If you want to make videos and encourage people, make videos and encourage people. If you want to walk around your house and sing, walk around your house and sing. If you want to sleep, sleep. If you want to watch dumb TV, watch dumb TV. Do what you need to do to maintain your sense of peace in this situation. We're going to need it. You're going to need to be able to express love for others and for yourself. I've known this situation was coming for a while. I had a hard time understanding how. Like, I've known there were going to be millions of people dying for the past several years. And most of the things that have happened since the orange one has taken office are things that I've had fears about most of my life, that I've had dreams and visions of since childhood. They've all been happening, unfortunately. I was afraid it would be in my lifetime. However, there are some really good things that are going to come out of this. And let me tell you about a couple of them. One, remember December 21st, 2012, and how the Mayans said that was the end of the world, the way that people translated that information anyway? No, what they were saying was that this is the end of the way things are being done. And you probably didn't see a drastic change. You may not have even felt it. I did. I was in Durango, Colorado on that day, and I was in the caves of the Anasazi. And we kind of snuck down and waited for them to leave so that we could spend time there alone. We just kind of waited off to the side. Went down into one of the kivas, which is where they prayed and where they sat with their elders. They had a fire down there. And so we went down there and we walked around the circle and smudged it on the inside. And I began to feel all of these people that had come before. And they were telling me how upsetting it was that humans were just walking through their sacred space with no care, with not any understanding for what's going on. And that's kind of where we are now. We're in a sacred space. 2012 changed things. It ushered in the age of Aquarius. I know for some of you that sounds so hippy-dippy woo-woo, and that's okay. You have hippy-dippy woo-woo things that I probably think is nuts, and that's fine. However, I'm not one that tends to think things are on the nutty side or the super woo-woo side. I'm pretty grounded with my spirituality. Not knocking people that have more of the woo. That's their path and that's their way of doing things, and that's perfectly all right as long as it's not harming me, them, or any other person. So, since 2012, we've seen an uptick in bad behavior, toxic behavior. 2016, this country elected a alleged, I have to say that for legal reasons, rapist, sexual assault, idiot, liar, con man. I think that's the best one, con man. So, but what people didn't realize, I think, and a lot of people did, is this was the final death scream of that kind of old patriarchy. The kind of patriarchy that keeps people in bondage. For whatever reason, they're I don't understand their out of balance mentality, and that's not mine to understand right now. I'm just saying that shit's going away. That's why I want people to understand this right now. So the virus is what I didn't realize was going to be the thing that happens. I'm trying to push myself to get through this video, not know I've gotten off track a couple of times because I've redone it too many times and I say this different things often. So as we elected him, I recognized it was like what I called the final death scream of that white patriarchy, basically. But it's not just white men. Unfortunately, there's plenty of brown men and darker men associated with this bullshit patriarchy. Not just in America, it's around the world. And if you look, most of the male-led countries are really struggling right now. The female-led countries are not. And this is one thing I want people to understand, the difference between patriarchy and matriarchy. And this is what I learned from the Anasazi that day when I was down in their kiva. It was the first day I really remember channeling a group of people and understanding that that's exactly what was going on. I've channeled all of my life, but most of the time I didn't know. I thought it was just my own thoughts. But now I understand. They told me the difference between patriarchy and matriarchy. So patriarchy, we know that's men, male-dominated society. They're the ones that are in control, the government, et cetera, et cetera. Matriarchy, we know, is women. So the difference is most patriarchies are all about keeping a certain level of men here, and then everybody else as low as they can get them. How's that balance? How does that make any sense? It's none. There's no compassion. There's no care within that structure. It's just greed and hunger. So when we talk about matriarchy, these men tend to get very pissed off. Why? Because they're afraid we're going to do the same fucking thing that they've been doing. And that's not the case. If you look at matriarchies throughout time, matriarchy simply meant that the women held the council or the government. They were the ones in charge, the leaders. But not in the understanding that these men with patriarchy see it. Women see a balance. We understand. We work with compassion. We work with empathy. We work from that place of nurturing and understanding. Can men do that? Absolutely. My husband does that. But even when I first talked to him about matriarchy versus patriarchy, he had the same understanding. And that's because that's a collective thing that we've been taught. You know, we've been taught certain things like you got to do. You have to be, man, you're a human being. So the women bring to the part the essence of compassion, nurturing, love. Women understand how things need to be balanced. We understand that there are certain things that have to be done. And if the bottom of your country, income, whatever socioeconomic way, the bottom rung of that, the people that are struggling the most, someone, especially tends to be women, but someone that understands, even though, let's just say, for instance, I'm the leader of a great country or a city or a town or my own fucking house. It doesn't matter. Let's say I'm the leader. Well, me being the leader, I have to know that I'm also the servant of the person that picks up my trash, the servant of the person that washes my car. I am a servant as a leader. That is what you do. If you are not serving as a leader, you are not leading in a healthy way, period. We've come into a new time. 1918 was the Spanish flu. We call it the Spanish flu, not because it was from Spain. And I don't remember exactly why we called it now, though. Sorry. So I digress. So that was the last time there was a giant pandemic in this country. People in this country are not used to having big issues. We're not used to having government that are trying to turn it into a dictatorship. We're not used to having to fight for everything. We've become fucking apathetic and, well, somewhat lazy when it comes to protecting our country, because we're like, oh, well, they've got it. Okay. Or I hear, oh, well, it doesn't matter how I vote or what I do. Well, fuck, it does. So as I'm saying that, I need Americans to truly understand that you have got to look out not only for yourself, but for the other people you're around. If you're going out in public, you can catch this and give it to someone else without you knowing. So this goes back to that vision, which I keep trying to get back to. The vision I've had for several years, since 2012, was that, many of us, I was trying to get my words right. There are many of us that have seen something coming that was going to change things. I've seen millions of people leaving the earth, and only a few people set up in each major city and capital around the world to keep the infrastructure alive and moving. I have no doubt that this is what's happening. I did not know how massive amounts of people were going to leave. I grew up in the Christian church, and I know what they say, and it's not exactly accurate in my opinion, and we don't have to argue about that here. My spiritual path is my spiritual path, and your spiritual path is your spiritual path, and the spiritual center that my husband and I are opening, that's the main thing. You have to know your own path. We don't know what happens when we die, and anyone that tells you that they do is lying unless they've died and come back after being gone for a little while. I haven't met anybody like that. So here we are wondering what's going to happen. How are these people going to disappear? And now we see it's a virus. So the virus happens, and then we have a few people left around to keep the infrastructure going. Well, what does that mean for the rest of us? Well, what that means for us is, if you make it through this, when we make it through this, those that are focused on love, health, balance, kindness, keeping their boundaries clear of every toxicity, those people are going to usher in love. We're ushering in love. We're ushering in that healing change that we've been waiting and needing so much on the earth. Mother Nature, Gaia, Pachamama, Mother Earth, Sophia, or Sophia, depending on the way you want to pronounce that also, she gave us a time out. So we're sitting at home, hopefully staying well. In that time out, our earth is getting a chance to heal without us fucking with it. But then I saw people are throwing their surgical rubber glove thingies on the ground. Dude, don't throw shit on the ground. There are trash bins, people. Like, just use that. So back to the people and ushering in love. Like, if you can keep your focus on love, keep your focus on where we're going and what we're doing, not worrying about what everybody else is doing. Writing letters to your Congress people, letting them know how we need to see things change. Writing your Congress people and telling them they've got to do something different, that this is not healthy, that we're not getting the help we need. The federal government's trying to keep ventilators and things from the states. The federal government is not sending you the money that you need to take care of yourself. And healthcare. So the things that are helping people in other countries, national healthcare, so they're able to go to the doctor and get things taken care of that they need. They're staying the fuck home. Stay the fuck home. Order groceries. If you really have to go get groceries, stay 6 feet away from people, or 2 meters, whichever way you understand. And 6 feet's a lot further than you think it is. Imagine laying down. You know what? Imagine Shaq laying on the ground. He's more than 6 feet tall. But if you imagine that and you stay behind that length of what he is, then you're probably going to be safer than if you were up on top of someone. And yes, I keep moving the camera around because I kind of like having the different angles. I've babbled. I hope I've given you some advice. I'm about to smudge my house with some sage. Sacred space is open. I am focused on resting, being healthy, calming my worry, because I can't control, moderate, or monitor anyone else's behavior or health. I can only look out for myself, and that's what I'm going to do. And I hope that you rest, or that you make videos, or that you read, or that you work on your shadow. Whatever you do, I hope it's in line with what it is that you truly want to do. I hope it's healthy. And I hope it's holy for your sacred vessel. I'm going to be listening to this crazy bird outside that just loves to wake me up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and he's presently singing now. I'm going to light incense. I'm going to chant. And I'm probably going to watch some silly rom-com. And I'm definitely going to be watching some Will and Grace. They just make me laugh. I just love Grace. She's fantastic. Deborah Messing. We'll see who else can we think of that we like to watch? Do y'all remember French Kiss? Great movie. Meg Ryan, Kevin Kline. 90s. That movie got me to France. So yeah, gonna watch some fun things. Who is it I found lately that I've really enjoyed watching? No idea. I can see everybody's faces and I can hear the sounds in my head, but I can't remember. So anyway, go be you. If you need me, I'm here. If you've hung on for these 24 minutes, kudos to you, man. Don't worry about what other people are telling you to do. Just wash your hands and don't go outside. Work on your health. If you start feeling too much from your shadow side, because a lot of people are going to be feeling their shadow right now in this isolation, then work on that. Reach out to people when you need to. Be safe. Be blessed. And I'm going to blow you kisses, but I'm not going to touch my mouth, which is what I have to tell my husband every time he leaves. He's always like, meh, meh, meh. I'm like, stop. Bye. Love y'all. And that's true.